Craig, you must have been waiting to lead England into this World Cup for a long, long time. Now that we're here, what's the emotion and the feeling like?
Oh, just mainly excitement. Just really excited to just get into camp. We've got a few days now before our first game against Brazil. But yeah, for me, excitement. I feel very proud. Feel really honoured. Every time I look at the girls, it's almost surreal that I'm about to lead such a great bunch of women into a World Cup. So just feel very proud.
We were just talking about this off camera, but you guys have obviously, must be a strange couple of weeks, because we've had all the build up to the World Cup. The men's competition kicked off, it's been fantastic, but then you guys have just been sat watching again. It must be a real kind of tight spring ready to go in your squad.
Yeah, again, excitement, a little bit of frustration. It's been great watching Sean and the guys and what they've done in the first couple of games, and you sat watching them, there's almost a bit of jealousy. You just want to get going, get in camp and just get into your first game, and it's felt like a long wait for us, but yeah, we're just really excited and we're just ready to go now.
There's been a lot of talk about it, and it's 100% true that this will be the best quality women's Rugby League World Cup we've ever had, but there's a lot has gone into this, isn't there, the last 4 or 5 years, and that isn't just limited to the England setup. It's all the clubs that have put effort into their women's programmes and taken the Women's Super League to the level it's at.
Yeah, listen, and I want to be on record as thanking the Super League clubs, the Championship clubs, the community clubs, because the work that they've done to embrace the girls and embrace the women and almost take it to that next level has been crucial to what we need to do. That was probably one of my frustrations in 2018 when I took over. You looked at where the girls were playing at and potentially what the World Cup was going to be, and we just needed them on a bigger stage in pressurised games. And yeah, collectively I think everybody's been fantastic, and I know us, you look at the NRLW, you look at all the competitions and what they've done, and for me it's got to be the biggest and best World Cup, but also it's filled with probably the best players that we've ever seen.
Since you took over, you've had a couple of games against France, of course, a couple against Wales, and then a fantastic series against PNG a few years ago. That rematch will be fantastic, won't it? But how much is there an unknown quantity going into this as you take on the Aussies and the Kiwis?
Yeah, I think you get to see a lot of them in playing for their clubs, so you pick up on the trends. You get a good idea of what the trends are and what they like to do, what they don't like to do. But for us, it's about thinking about ourselves, having our own structures, our own principles, and make sure that them structures are good enough to beat the teams that are out there, regardless of who you're playing. And that's probably as well the quality of the 24 players. Just by changing a couple of halfbacks or a couple of forwards, it just changes the slight dynamics of what we're capable of doing. So, we're just really confident no matter what teams throw at us, we feel prepared in terms of the 24 players that we've got at hand.
We seem to be very good at this country in talking English Rugby League down in comparison to Australia especially, but I think we're going to see a number of these England players establish themselves as absolutely world-class athletes, aren't we, in the next 6 weeks?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think there's a lot of people that don't realise the quality that's within the squad. We've got some real young, exciting players. You Liv Woods of this world, your Holly Dodds of this world, and you've got people like Jodie Cunningham, also our captain Emily Rudge, Grace Field. These players have worked so hard, and I feel as though the older players in the group are better versions of themselves. They're definitely fitter, stronger, faster, but we've got some really exciting young talent that I feel can light up this World Cup and drive us to success.
Just want to talk to you quickly about the documentary that's come out in the last week, Woman of Steel. What a fantastic insight into what your players go through and have been through that's been.
Yeah, listen, it was challenging filming it, having a camera in your face, being mic'd up, but I've got to say that the work that Freya and the team have done is absolutely fantastic, and it was really good for us to sit back and watch it as a reminder of how hard we've worked and what it means to individuals, and also the sacrifices, because even as a coach, sometimes you forget some of the sacrifices that players have gone through to make the squad, and some were successful, some weren't, but we need to have a really great World Cup for the players that are in, but also the really unlucky ones that didn't quite make it.
How important is it that we use the opportunity the next month to turn these girls into superstars and inspire the young girls that might be watching this to play in that World Cup in 8, 12, however many years down the line?
Oh, it's crucial, and I talk to the girls about it all the time, not just what you do on the field, but what you do off it. And the girls are fantastic ambassadors, and you're already seeing in community clubs, in schools, we're now getting really good young sporty girls that want to take up rugby league, and they're walking around with players' names on the shirts. They've got real role models and aspirations of role models that they want to be like. So what we do is crucial in terms of that next level confidence to take on some of these big nations, because I think maybe in the past it's not quite been there. We look up to players from other countries instead of recognising actually we've got superstars in our own competition, and I throw that at men's and boys. So what we do to inspire that next generation is going to be absolutely crucial, and that's one of the reasons why we've worked so hard, and we're going to go out there and give it our all.
And we've got 3 pieces of silverware domestically in this country, won by 3 different teams for possibly the first time ever.
Yeah.
Someone might need to fact check me on that. But how pleasing as a coach is it to be able to pick players from 3 champion sides?
Yeah, absolutely. And my wish is that moving forward, it's not just 3. We need a competition with whether it's 6 or 8 teams in it, where when top plays bottom, there's minimal points in it, and you don't really know who's going to win. But just increasing to what we've done, and I always think it's a little bit disrespectful to not throw Wigan into that as well, because some of the Wigan scores looked differently to how the games felt and how the games went, and I thought they competed really well. But that's the strength of competition, that some of the Super League games ended up being very, very similar to what we'll find international games to be like in terms of skill level and intensity. But that's been fantastic this year. 3 teams really competing, not a lot between them.
What would it mean if you could take England all the way to Old Trafford and beyond in this World Cup?
Oh, it'd mean everything, absolutely everything for me, for my family, but most importantly I think for the girls, because I've been lucky enough to be at the front of it and seeing how hard they work and what it means to them, and to be in a position to lead the team and to walk away with the trophy would mean absolutely everything. It'd probably be the biggest thing that I've ever achieved in my life, to be fair.
Well, best of luck and enjoy the tournament.
Cheers, thank you very much. Thank you.